Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything you need to know about the brand new Imponte Ruiner ZZ-8 before you decide to buy this vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I would say this is arguably the most anticipated vehicle from this update. It's going to be on the Southern San Andreas Super Sports site. You can see there it is a two-door muscle car for $1,320,000. So all in all, one of the least expensive vehicles from this DLC, and it's also really a fan favorite. And if you were to purchase the vehicle, this is what the description would say: the Millennium Bug didn't get you, the War on Terror didn't scare you, and the Great Recession didn't stop you when it came in hot and heavy. The 2000s didn't give us much except delusionment, but for those who remember, they also gave us the high-performance ZZ-8, the greatest sports car in the Ruiner lineage. Let's go ahead and bring this into the Los Santos custom shop, where, no surprise, you're going to be thrilled with all the customization. So as you guys can see, there are 22 options of customization, which is just awesome. These new vehicles really have delivered on the customization front. And starting with the bumpers, you're going to notice that there's a ton of options. As you can see there, you've got 20 options for the front bumpers, which allows you to have a ton of customization. And there's even a good number in the back too, not quite as many, but still you do get about 11 options to choose from, so a ton of good choices there. You also have about 11 exhaust options to choose from as well, all of them super unique, giving this a completely different look to the car. And as expected, a ton of hood options too, 20 of them to choose from. You can go with a more classic, iconic look, or you can really customize this thing up if you want. Now after that, it is our liveries, and there are a handful of liveries today that I'm sure you guys are probably going to recognize from real life cars. So the first livery today is Tribal Flame, and you're probably going to recognize this one too. This is actually based on the 2002 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Collector's Edition. So I'm sure many of you guys might actually have one of these cars in real life. If so, you're going to be able to create some iconic looks. And same with the second livery on the car, Ruiner Bird. This is a clear reference to the iconic Phoenix livery of the Pontiac Firebirds. So right off the bat, you're getting two liveries that are just extremely iconic for this real life vehicle. And in case you guys are wondering what this vehicle is based off of in real life, if it wasn't obvious enough, it's based off of a 1998 to 2002 Pontiac Firebird. So some really cool liveries to get us started. After that, it is white race stripes, which, as the name describes, is going to put two big white stripes on the hood, roof, and back of the car. And I know it's a little bit hard to see just because of the primary color, but it does the exact same thing with black race stripes too. White tribal race stripes and black tribal race stripes are kind of a combination of Tribal Flame and the racing stripes. So you can see there, it definitely puts that decorative tribal design on the side of each door, so you can really come up with some cool designs. Following that, it is Red Flames, which is very simple, and as it sounds, you just have a huge amount of red flames coming from the front of the car, going up on the hood, and on the side of the vehicle too. Following that, it is Yogarishima. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that one correctly. And as you guys can see here, it puts the Yogarishima logo on the side with these thin red pinstripes on the door sill going towards the back. After that, it is Stance Andreas, which is going to put a handful of different unique sponsorships on the car. And it's going to be doing so in this sort of gray and white pattern, as you guys can see there. And then the final one is Redwood, which is one of the iconic in-game brands of cigarettes in the GTA franchise. And that's obviously going to have its signature sort of brown, light blue, red design. So those are all of your liveries right there. There's, again, a ton that you can end up choosing from. Following the liveries, you've got mud guards, you have primary, secondary flaps, and black flaps if you did want to add those. And then we need to move on to our color palettes. You got primary color, which is going to have an impact on essentially everything on the outside of the car that you chose as primary. And then secondary is going to have an impact on a handful of things that you can obviously choose as well. We'll get into some of those upgrades too. There's actually nothing you can do on the interior for this car, so they keep it pretty simple. Now, after we choose our colors, we move on to the roof. There's a roof panel that you can adjust. You can choose between a primary C-pillar, plastic, or a carbon C-pillar, so you can actually mix up that look just a little bit. You can also change up the roof too if you want it completely open, or a T-top, plastic T-top, or a carbon one, and secondary options too. Following that, you got a handful of skirt options, 15 of them in total. Again, you can leave this car as classic as you want, or you can really customize it. And in this video, I kind of tried to keep it as classic as possible, just going with like the yellow and black look. I felt like that actually looked okay. After your skirts, we've got a few sun strip options too if you want to apply those, with a couple of in-game brands like Power Metal, Mind Mock, and Fukaru. Following that, it is a handful of spoiler options. Now, one thing to note here is that even though it already comes with a spoiler, unless you apply one of the upgraded options, you're not going to get that traction bonus. So I know that for me, that's a little bit unfortunate because I did want to keep the stock spoiler. And I also had my secondary color as something that was slightly different. So unfortunately, I couldn't get that upgraded traction bonus without changing the look that I wanted to go for. So I kind of just went without it. And then after that, the only other thing you can upgrade unique to this car is the trunk, where you can choose between secondary or carbon. And then now that we've got this thing outside of the Los Santos custom shop, I wanted to test out a couple of things about it as well. Like, for example, if you were to bring this guy to a car show, what would it look like? Well, you can open up, obviously, the doors and the trunk and the hood, exposing that beautiful looking engine, which looks incredible. You've also got a nice set of headlights on the car too. Now, unfortunately, there's no set of extra bright lights that you have on this vehicle, but that's what the headlights look like, and that's what the tail lights look like as well. One other thing I did notice with the headlights is when you apply a window tint, for whatever reason, the glass of the front turn signals will also be tinted. So keep that in mind if you do apply any window tint on there. It's also going to change the glass of the window tints, which definitely is a little unique. That's for sure. But that is everything you pretty much need to know about the brand new Imponte Ruiner ZZ-8. To give you guys my final opinion, I love this car. I think it's based on one of the most classic muscle cars of all time, with so many cool real life references. And it's just a fun muscle car to drive around, to take to car shows. Again, it's going to feature some of the most iconic cars in the world, like the Pontiac Firebird, also sharing some similarities from the Chevy Camaro. So you're getting into a lot of amazing American muscle cars here. But I'd obviously love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about this vehicle. Is it a car that you're going to be buying on day one? Are you going to be staying away from it? Are you going to be waiting till it goes on discount? The only thing about this car that's a little unfortunate is there's no trade price to unlock. So that $1,320,000 is something that's going to be here and something you're going to have to pay regardless. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What are your thoughts on this vehicle? Yes, no, maybe so, somewhere in between. Let me know what you're thinking down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.